very exciting things going on. Probably the first question that everybody has in the room is, Whisper Ridge is the project that's been talked about for the last 4 years. Our county was very, very supportive. They approved it in record time. I think it was about 7 months without any negative comments, which is probably a record in California. and then we ran into the Corps of Engineers, the federal government, and they delayed us 1 month short of 3 years to approve our wetlands permit. But just at the end of the month, we did receive the signed permit, no appeals. So that put us in a position to really begin this project, a project that, again, we worked on for 4 years. Our goal is to start the entryway and the 9-hole course, and that's particularly good for this morning because the short course was originally designed and still in our mind that's a first tee golf course. Now, since we've been involved for 4 years, we've now decided that that's going to be a very, very good golf course, very attractive. It'll be along the lines for you golfers of what the 9-hole golf course is in Augusta at the Masters. Really see a great need, and we saw from the beginning a great need for the youth of this area. And probably, I'm going to guess 2 years ago, or maybe even 3 years ago, we were out looking at our source of water for the project, our irrigation water, and we saw that our irrigation water would come from Lake Wyandotte, which is a South Feather Water and Power reservoir. And connecting the dots with First Tee, I had seen an environmental camp in Santa Cruz that had the same principles as the First Tee, the core values, but they were camps, an environmental camp for 5th and 6th graders. And I thought, what a great spot to have one of those camps. So I went to Mike Glaze at South Feather Water and Power and said, hey, what would you think of just leasing this lake and let us put this environmental camp in and kind of add to our First Tee youth program? And he thought it was a great idea. He went to his board. They thought it was a great idea. And then we got crazy. We said, well, there's 200 acres around this thing with a 75-acre lake, and this could be really something. We put this all together, and then through some connections that friends, etc., we got involved with, got to see what the 49ers had done at Levi Stadium. This is a total education youth park, which we think will really help and really raise the area for the youth. Now, it doesn't hurt us with our resort, obviously, because when we have people come stay at our resort and they have children, they're going to be able to go down here and fish and go through the education center, so it's going to be a big draw all the way around. But with that, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Jessie Lovejoy. And Jessie is the STEM educator, STEM manager for the San Francisco 49ers, and then he's going to introduce his team and tell you what this first phase of this project of the Wyandotte will be.
What is today about? The idea behind today is for you all to walk out of here with a really good idea of, first of all, why are we here? The 49ers, we play football, we do a lot of things. Some of you may be wondering what do you guys have to do with STEM? By the end of today, you'll understand that. What is kind of the long-term vision for what we want this thing to turn into? What are some of the possibilities? I want to introduce everybody that's here with my team. And just so you're kind of clear about how this is working, the Niners are kind of serving as, let's call it a project manager for this, along with a driver from a spirit and content standpoint. So what we've done is we've brought the same team that built our museum in our 2 learning venues, the same exact group is here to build this venue. And that's a very good thing for all of you when you see what we've done. So first, you guys, I'm Jessie Lovejoy. This is Matt Van Dixon. Matt's our Senior Manager of Education and a former teacher. I'll let him tell you a little bit about his teaching background just briefly, because I think you'll especially find it relevant given the location.
Education for the last 16 years. What's kind of close to home for me is that I spent 5 of those years in Redding, California, for the Redding School District. In fact, I was born in Hayward. I was raised in Anderson-Cottonwood area. And I was raised in Northern California, what they call Northern California. It was very interesting. When I moved down to Santa Clara, they call that Northern California. I said, no, that's not Northern California. You got to go up a few hours. But, you know, being an educator in this area, I got so excited just to see all the educators' hands go up in here due to the fact that I've been a part of a lot of town hall meetings in the past where we're trying to drive STEM. I've been teaching STEM before STEM was a buzzword. So it's very interesting to be able to see a group like this, because I've been to a lot of town meetings where there's 1 to 2 people that show up. It shows me that you guys are passionate about providing accessible learning opportunities for kids. And as you know, kiddos need these opportunities in this area. I had students, I've taught pretty much everything under the sun, kindergarten through 8, general education. I'm also a special education teacher. I've taught private school, public school. I've been in informal learning experiences where I was the director of education for Air and Space Museum. I've worked with a lot of different entities, but I love coming home. Today feels like I'm coming home.
My friends Peter Sollogub and Tim Mansfield with Cambridge 7 and Associates. Cambridge 7 is the architect that handled our project. I want them to talk a little bit about their role with us and what they do and will do.
Hi everybody, my name is Tim Mansfield. I'm a partner at Cambridge 7. As Jessie mentioned, I'm here with my partner Peter Sollogub. Cambridge 7 is an architectural and exhibit design firm that has a global practice. We're headquartered in Cambridge, Mass. We were engaged by the 49ers. We have a great practice in education and museum building. It's been in our blood since the beginning of the practice, which was in 1962. Peter and I have been working together for about 25 years and focusing our practice on education, both in the museum world and in academic world, designing academic buildings, science buildings, athletic facilities, and the like. We joined with Jessie and the team to design the museum, and very early in that process, it became very clear that York's mission to educate children was a paramount theme for the museum.
We've done a lot of projects worldwide. And I've been involved with some of the best, and I think working with the 49ers has been right there. But I think in our experience, I can 100% that none of the projects that we've worked on ever have been successful without the support of the community. They have to start from the ground up. If you have that, it's magic, and if you don't have it, it doesn't happen. And we're really delighted to be part of your community and work with you to make this very special place come to be.
This is Stephen Plattenberg with Cortina Productions. The way I like to kind of codify what Cortina did for us is if it's on a screen or it's interactive in the museum or the classrooms, they did it. And for those of you who either come see us or will come see us, you'll shortly understand how miraculous that is once you see it. So Stephen Plattenberg from Cortina.
So we're excited to be here. Would love to be, up front in the process in terms of how we're going to use technology, how we're going to use media to achieve the goals. We're located in the Washington, D.C. area. We're a media design and production company that specializes in installation media, museums, aquariums, science centers. So anything like Jessie says that's on a screen or is interactive or in a theater that's within a location-based facility, that's what we specialize in doing. Going through the process with the 49ers of developing the first educational classroom and program and then transferring that over into the really innovative second classroom that we worked with them on was one of the most rewarding things that I've done professionally. And to go there and see 300 kids going through the program, laughing, having fun, paying attention, doing all the things that we set out to make it is an awesome experience, and I encourage all of you guys to go down and check it out. It'll really get you excited about the possibilities that we have before us.
Steven's being very modest about the accomplishment, because everything that we did in our classroom related to technology is custom built. It didn't exist before. It's not like we went and bought a piece of software and loaded it onto a computer and said, that's what we're going to do. We took Microsoft Surface tablets and custom build experiences that allow our teachers to move and teach at the same time, so they don't have to sit behind a desk. Allows them to interact with kids more. We took the most advanced piece of touchscreen technology that works as a desk, and we created a piece that does object recognition and shows full screen video and is managed online. So anytime we want to add new content, we just go on the web, we pop it in there, and it shows up. And those are all intentional decisions made by having these guys involved in the planning process now. And that's the exciting part of where we are, is being able to have discussions around what do we want technology to be for our kids? How do we want that to impact their day? And then allow Steven's team to work with all of us to kind of make that come to be. So just fantastic work. Last but certainly not least, we have Basil Katz with Cinnabar Production, or Cinnabar. No productions, no nothing.
I just want to say one thing that's really important to our kind of core value as a company is that we're the third leg of the stool. So you have the client that has the vision, you have the really creative team behind the design, and then there's the execution. And for kids, especially low-income kids or whatever, having a dignified learning experience is so important. So we put a lot of thought into the touch, the feel, the kind of real physical, tactile experience, so that it's really something beautifully built and crafted that really kind of conveys that kind of closes the experience. So thank you, Jesse, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Do this a little more. There are a couple more groups that aren't represented here, but are certainly part of the team. We will have an AV integrator, so think about that as a person that goes out and buys all the AV hardware and actually installs it. They'll work very closely with Steven's team. And then we will work very closely with the developer that's chosen to do the entire project. So, and that's still to be determined, but ultimately that's kind of the nucleus that will create this venue. Sometimes people still don't understand why you need to address STEM. I like to look at it from a very high level. You've got some stats behind me that help kind of articulate this. I'm not going to read these for you, but let me just say this. Kids looking to set themselves up to succeed in high school, college, and ultimately in an occupation of their choice need to understand functional STEM-based skills. It's not about understanding high-level physics or being able to necessarily define what civil engineering is and be interested in it. It's about understanding process. It's about understanding that the nature of the engineering design process, which is a fundamental element of our program, requires you to fail and learn from your failure. It requires you to build. It requires you to try something, test it, refine it, do some more research on it, reintroduce it, and see what works. And at its core, that is the fundamental element that STEM needs to accomplish, to run through it, to mirror what we've done in terms of efficiency and quality. We won't compromise on that. We would never, put it this way, we're not going to build that cool classroom and be like, good luck, right? Because what's the point? You know, the venue is nothing unless you have the right people in it teaching, unless you have the right content, unless you have the right activation plan, pre-lessons, post-lessons, camp ideas, teacher professional development, all the things that we can do in this venue. That's what the important stuff. So understand that our involvement is all the way through that. It's gonna be free. Now I know that I'm kind of putting these guys out on a limb a little bit here, but I don't think it's too much of a surprise for them to hear me say that. But ultimately, we would never suggest running this program if there's a cost associated with it. Because you guys all know, getting funds to even get on a bus, and raise your hand if you're a teacher, not just in education. So I have to imagine that your experience is much like mine was, and getting funds to get on a bus and to pay for field trips is a very, very limited opportunity. You might have some money, but certainly not enough to do all the things that you'd want. And we never want to put a roadblock in front of a kid learning. And then, you know, we're really here today to form the right kind of partnerships to help us do all of this. the next steps, and I've said this 100 times, so you probably understand how authentic I am when I say it. I would love for all of you to come see what we do. It's very difficult, even in seeing the videos, to truly understand the impact that the kids have. Difficult to do that without coming to see us. We need to build our advisory council. So all of you in this room are potential advisory council members. There's no financial commitment. There's not a lot of meetings. There's going to be a lot of us sending out emails to groups of people with this kind of, hey, what do you think about this? It'll probably be 1, maybe 2 meetings where we come back at some point along the way and lay everything out and say, what do you guys think? Use your expertise to help us go forward. And that could be in terms of writing a lesson, meeting a partner, all the things that we need to do. We'll present the progress to these guys as much as they want. Then we're going to build this thing, and we're going to bring it to market, and we're going to bring something into this region that changes the access that kids have to STEM learning opportunities.
Good afternoon. How are you? My name's Tim Mansfield,
I'm Peter Sollogub.
and we're architects from the firm called Cambridge 7 Associates in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Peter and I are thrilled to be here and support the community here in Butte County. We're an architectural firm that was responsible for designing the 49ers Museum and Team Store, and had a lot of terrific experiences working with them developing their education center.
I'll tell you, our firm began in 1970, well, actually 1970, what was it?
62.
62. And on a personal note, when I went to school, like you kids, I did some projects, and I was architectural kind of projects, and my mom put them around the room at the end, and this architect came in, and he looked at everything, and he said it was very interesting, which I learned later, which is not very good. And basically what he said to me at the end, he says, when you grow up, you can't do that. You have to do this, and you have to do that and that. And I said to myself at the time, I will never grow up. And our firm, Cambridge 7, has always been about that, about streaking things that you can't do and trying to achieve the unachievable.
So we're really excited to be here and part of this team about envisioning a new education center, a STEM center here in the county. Peter and I are going to bring all the energy that we had, that we've developed over the years of designing museums and education centers and other sorts of projects, and hopefully share our knowledge and experience with all of you, and hope that this project is going to be a terrific success.
Hi, I'm Jessie Lovejoy, the Director of STEM Education for the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm here at the Butte County Office of Education today with the Whisper Ridge Partners to introduce the construction of a STEM education venue here in this county to serve these citizens. And we're very excited to announce it for many reasons, but most importantly because creating a venue like that and developing a curriculum that includes, a focus on STEM and key pieces of what's going on in the region will really allow the kids that live here to see relevance and see real life reflected back in the things that they're learning. And what we've found in doing that in an informal setting, meaning not a classroom, you get a different receptivity from kids in terms of wanting to explore those concepts. And then if you do that right, they re-enter their classrooms, their homes, their community centers, their after-school programs, their conversations with their brothers and sisters and their friends with a different view of what STEM is, of what those key principles are, so that they might be interested to pursue them further as they go forward in their education, start looking at what they want to be when they grow up, and those kinds of things. So very excited to do that here and to give, the young people of this community the kinds of things they need to be excited and to be exploratory in their education.
Hi, I'm Michelle Sanchez. I'm the Superintendent Principal of the Manzanita Elementary School District in the Gridley community. I'm really excited for this project. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to give our students here in Butte County access to resources and experiences that they might not otherwise have an opportunity to experience. The Whisper Ridge project, along with the STEM Education Center with the 49ers, is a great opportunity for our kids. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Greg Blake. I'm a local superintendent here in Butte County for the Golden Feather Union Elementary School District. And actually next year I'll be working with the Thermalito Union Elementary School District. So this particular project that we have going on here with the Whisper Ridge Golf and golf course and the partnership we have with the 49ers is going to be an excellent opportunity for our students and the First Tee program to get experience with our local history, our local agriculture, and working with business partners. I see this as a fantastic recipe for the students of Butte County.
I'm Jennifer McCarthy, and I'm a Community and Economic Development Manager for Butte County. And Butte County is so excited to have this opportunity come to this area. In terms of what it's going to offer, not just our students, but our public in general, this is going to open up opportunities for the youth in our area to see different things that they didn't consider in terms of employment opportunities, in terms of ways to look at their education. It's really going to also put this area on the map in terms of a community that supports their youth, a community that feels education is important, and ultimately offers support to their business community through the partnerships that are gained through this. So Butte County is extremely excited to have this opportunity. We are very thankful for the Whisper Ridge group coming in, changing our landscape, and now the opportunity to work with the 49er organization on this excellent educational opportunity.
Hi, I'm Tim Taylor, the County Superintendent, Butte County Office of Education, and very excited about this project. To me, the greatest thing about this project will allow children to get out into the environment, and we all know kids learn by doing, so being out there in a STEM environment up at Lake Wyandotte, hosted by the 49ers, can only be a win-win for all kids. And truly, I think utilizing our environment up here in Butte County, kids all throughout Northern California will really benefit. So we're very excited, and we're thankful that we had this great opening event here today with the Niners, and look forward to the project coming together.